FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. It's February 3rd, 2020. Wow, January just flew right by, but not before we saw gold reassert its bullish trend. Imagine that. We were told it was going to go down. This was a flash in the pan, all that stuff. And yet, as we wound up, January closed in on 1,600. We still got a month left, at least according to historical trends, to watch this thing go even further. 1,600, just a hair's breadth away. Well, hey, but we don't only talk about precious metals. Sometimes we talk about politics, reluctantly so. But in today's world, politics is really unavoidable. And I view politics as an outgrowth of economics. And you would think if the country's doing well, why do we have this political dissonance, discord? Well, maybe there's more to it than that. Our good friend Kataline is with us now. You find her at KarenKataline.com. That's KATALINE.com. And Karen, welcome back. So impeachment is the dish du jour. Well, who knows? We're doing this earlier on Friday. Maybe by the end of the day, it's all going to be over and it'll be just a dream of impeach 45 and get him out of our hair, right?
No.
You don't
they will
think
never
so?
quit. They're never going to stop. And we're expecting the vote to go for no witnesses, and soon after the vote to go to acquit the president. The Democrats brought an incredibly faulty bill, having rushed to impeachment without any witnesses from the opposition. They seem to be afraid of any opposition. And of course, they accuse the Republicans of precisely what they're doing. And even if, this is on Tuesday, the same day I do my show Spouting Off, the interesting thing is I plan to write an op-ed about, well, let's not pass this by too quickly, because we are expecting him to be indicted. I keep saying indicted, acquitted.
Yes, I know
Found
what you're
innocent, innocent of all charges. The charges are fake, phony, and fraudulent. But there are a couple things that I found interesting. So you're getting a little bit of the pre-story to what I think I'm going to write about. And that is that there were some enormously telling, the things that these Democrats said made it clear that they don't care about the fact. And a lot of people say, isn't it bizarre that here we have truly the most successful president in my lifetime, and successful at things that both parties have been promising the public for decades, including energy independence that Trump didn't even promise. And we got that. Unbelievable. And so the dirty little secret isn't how weird it is that they want to impeach a successful president. I believe they want to impeach Donald Trump very much because he's a successful president. He has exposed the fact that they never wanted a lot of those things in the first place. If they had wanted to secure the borders, they would have done so. If they have wanted energy independence and not getting all this political payola from corrupt oil companies in the Ukraine, then they would make us energy independent. This is the tip of the iceberg as far as I'm concerned. And the longer Donald Trump sits in that Oval Office, God willing, he sits there for at least another 5 years, the more we're going to find out and the more terrified they become, because they are culpable, they are corrupt, and the swamp is a lot dirtier than anybody knew.
Oh, isn't that the truth? The swamp runs very deep and it needs to be drained. It needs to be dredged, and they need to put a new Trump Tower or a Trump International Hotel right on the top of the swamp there, right? Put it to some good use.
Yeah, that's true. Now, here it is. I mean, this is like a budding idea. Schumer said the White House defense team wants to normalize Trump's behavior. Well, look at what Democrats want to normalize. They want to normalize drug use. There was a story about Colorado this morning that there is now a protest group, Rights for Drug Users, not drug addicts, not junkies, except they like to use that term if they use it. But now they're all victims of society, don't you know? And along with safe injection sites, which is truly the most preposterous thing in order to encourage drug use in America, so people will be so high and so out of it that they won't mind that the country is going socialist, right? They want to normalize criminality, normalize government dependence, lawlessness, and victimhood, and yet Schumer says we want to normalize Trump's behavior. What did Trump do? Nothing. He did absolutely nothing. They depend on the public and their lack of information, lack of interest, apathy to say that he did something. He must have done something. They just conclude that. So this is guilt by innuendo. It's not true. They're trying to railroad him out of office, and I guess they picked the wrong guy. Huh, Carrie? I guess they did.
You think, huh? Yeah, they picked the wrong guy, and, they're forgetting, like, one of the theme songs of his campaign that you'd always see at all the rallies is "We're not going to take it," right?
Yeah, that, and you can't always get what you want.
Yeah.
But if you try sometimes, you get what you need. This is what this country needs. What a brilliant song. When I first heard it, I thought, what the heck is that? I don't know what he's talking about. Well, now we know what he's talking about, or now we know why they play that. Sometimes other people know before you know. Mm-hmm. He's miraculous. He's miraculous. Is he a human? Yeah, he's a human. I don't have him on a pedestal, but I'll tell you what, anybody who could not only deal with and beat the Bush machine and the Clinton machine and the Obama machine and and then accomplish this besides is extraordinary. Remember when Obama, because people wanted so desperately to like him, they wanted him to be great, and he basically tore this country apart, sadly, on purpose. The policies that he did were on purpose and deliberate. Mm-hmm. And for Trump to be able to do what he's done with so much opposition is truly amazing. So I think just watch and wait, man.
Hey, so what about the turncoats in the Republican Party, the so-called rhinos, the Mitt Romneys? He's got to be the most detestable creature on the planet. But then you've got, you've got a whole assortment of them. It looks like when push comes to shove, they can't vote against Trump, can they?
Well, they can. I hear, and again, we don't know yet, that Romney will vote for witnesses, and he's going to try and justify it in 100 different ways. But see, Romney is the perfect foil example to what I like to tell people. And, what did everybody say about Mitt Romney when he ran that horrible, failed campaign for president? What a nice guy. He's just so nice. And he's well-spoken, and he's good-looking, and he has a chiseled chin, and, oh, man, he looks so great. Donald Trump is uncouth, and he has a brash demeanor. Well, guess what? Mitt Romney is a slime, okay?
Yeah.
Mitt Romney is a dishonest, airbrushed phony, and he believes in globalism, and he hates anybody who does for the country what he doesn't want done, number one. Number two, his kids are knee-deep in the Biden scandal and the Ukrainian scandal.
Correct.
He's not what he appears to be. The reason people don't like Trump is that he is what he appears to be, and he doesn't mind if you know it. Unbelievable lessons in superficiality versus being real and authentic. And a lot of these politicians aren't getting away with it anymore. And it's because Donald Trump has changed the face of politics in this country. God willing, it remains after he finishes his successful second term, because we're sick and tired of gobbledygook speaking politicians that say nothing and then line their own pockets. I mean, who's not tired of that?
It's madness, because you look, they say all these things couldn't be done. Like you mentioned, energy independence, resurgence to some extent of the industrial sector of the U.S., record low unemployment. Now, like, one thing you have to qualify is that the numbers, the way they measure unemployment now, is totally different than they did a generation ago or during Reagan's term, 2 generations ago already. It's hard to believe. The fact is that even under these twisted measures, I know people, you know people, the biggest problem you have when you're running a business now is you can't get employees, qualified employees. Almost impossible. So they're going to prisons. They're going to psych wards. Pretty soon they'll just be taking homeless people off the streets just to fill these positions. Karen, it's that dire. Yeah.
I saw a meme that said the real reason that Democrat millennials and these, I hate all these stupid terms we're expected to use. We do not have to use the terms they tell us. But progressive millennials, the reason they don't like Donald Trump is that they may have to get a job because there's so much demand for jobs. I mean, honestly, the way the Democrats and the left have been able to change this country as much as they have is through the culture. And to some extent, we're changing it back. But we do have a virulent communist socialist agenda running through this country, masquerading as lots of stuff. If I may shift gears slightly, since we are looking down the pike to the Iowa caucuses and the Democrat primary and such, that I don't see much difference on policy between any of them. I think they are all, I'm tired of hearing people say, oh, he's more moderate. You think Michael Bloomberg is moderate? Yeah. There is nothing moderate about Michael Bloomberg or Joe Biden.
You mean Nanny Bloomberg? You mean Nanny Bloomberg?
Well, you're going to see, and people will have seen it already, tons and tons of anti-Trump ads by Bloomberg in the Super Bowl. And I saw a couple of these ads during the playoffs. I'm not a big football fan, but I like to watch the playoffs with my husband. And we're watching, and we see these ad after ad. They're one right after another. They don't even take a break. He has so much money, has much more money than brains, I guess. Yeah. Well, I mean, he might be smart, but that doesn't mean he's good for the country, because he's not. But the one that killed me, Carrie, was when he said that not only should we like Michael Bloomberg because he can get things done, but he's independent. He's independent. All right. This is a man who we should respect his independence, but he has never respected ours. He doesn't respect us to make a decision about what size soda to drink, or whether to use mother's milk or formula, or whether we are allowed to use earbuds. And the list goes on and on and on. This is serious and deadly stuff. When people have a megalomaniacal attitude about what they're allowed to tell other people how to live, what to think, what to be. I mean, we fought a revolution over that. And yet we have people now who think they're smarter than everyone else, and they have a lot of money to push around. I mean, we really have to be very concerned about such people, even if they don't have a chance to win. Yeah. The very fact that such people are now publicly extolling the virtues of socialism and extolling the virtues of I know better than you, and we're going to make a law. I mean, did you see Elizabeth Warren? Yeah. She wants to crack down on political misinformation. Elizabeth
Well, that's
Warren,
the end of her campaign.
the faux Indian,
end of her
wants
campaign.
to tell other. What?
I say that's the end of her campaign if she's cracking down on political disinformation, because her whole life and her whole story is just built on lie after lie after lie. And as you disassemble them, the whole thing, the whole structure comes crashing down. So no wonder she wants to outlaw political speech.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next.
Trilogy Metals is a world-class developer in Alaska's Ambler mining district. The company already possesses 8 billion pounds of copper, 3 billion pounds of zinc, over 1 million gold equivalent ounces, and now over 77 million pounds of cobalt. Trilogy's Arctic project boasts an after-tax net present value of $1.4 billion with a 33% IRR. Trilogy is led by an experienced management team with proven success in discovering and developing projects in Alaska. The company is well capitalized, has no debt, and possesses strong institutional support. Trilogy trades on the New York and Toronto exchanges under the ticker symbol TMQ. To learn more, go to trilogymetals.com. That's trilogymetals.com.
The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Well, and this is always the people that do it. The people that are the most egregious, that lack moral character, that lack honesty and integrity, are the ones that claim moral high ground and that they know better than everyone else. They are our betters, and they get to tell other people what to do. And, it is so sad that there are young people in this country who were never taught what America is about. That's our biggest job. Our first job is to get Trump reelected to a second term so we can continue draining and cleaning out with bleach the swamp. But the second thing is to educate our children. That's why if Biden or Bernie get to be the candidate, and I'm not convinced either one of them will.
No,
I think they'll bring somebody in who they think can beat Trump. But I'd love to see either one of them, because Trump would either run against the Obama years and the Obama corruption, which is what Biden represents, or he could run against socialism, which is what Bernie represents. Bernie's a communist. He's no socialist. Honestly, these terms are ridiculous.
He honeymooned in Moscow,
And what people think, democratic socialism, that's like being a little bit pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
It's not true. And we need to have that discussion in this country in a big, big way. I think that will be part of the discussion no matter who it is, because they've gone so far to the left. But part of the reason they don't like Bernie is he's just a little too honest. And he's not being completely honest either.
No.
He's not being completely honest either. Look at the people that were exposed that are his field managers.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're
not really radical. They're not really communists, are they? Believing in gulags,
re-education camps, right? All
that's
that good
very
stuff.
Democratic, Kerry.
Oh, I'm in favor. If we can send the liberals to re-education camps, so be it. No, that's ridiculous. That's
and there's nothing moderate about him or any of these people. Mm. And do you think for 1 minute that this is something that not only has he not condemned it, but under no circumstances does he not believe either that or something close to it? He loves Russia. That's why it's so hilarious. Now suddenly they hate Russia. Why? Because Russia is not as communist as it used to be?
Yeah.
It's silly. Wow.
Yeah. Well, hey, this will be over soon. Did you happen to catch the Brexit vote in the UK? Because all of this is tied together. It's kind of this global populist movement. And Nigel Farage, really tearing into the EU, saying basically goodbye and we'll never see you again. And then being shut down by the Speaker of the European Parliament. And he just laughed. And he was this good-natured, wonderful self as always. But it's all tied together. The Yellow Vest Rebellion, the protests taking place in Venezuela, in Iran, in Hong Kong, even in places in China that we don't know about because they don't tell us these things, because our media betters really don't think you need to know it. All of these things are taking place, Karen, and whether Trump is the cause of it or the result of it, it really doesn't matter because people are fed up with these elites telling you how to live your life, what you need to do, and how to be a good citizen, and that you should just stand idly by as your job gets outsourced to India or the Philippines, and all of that is good because it's helping the globalist cause. And look how they've handled this virus in China. This, I don't know if you follow Dr. Stephen Turley or not. Great YouTuber. Had him on the show. He teaches rhetoric and theology at a college. I don't remember where. And he's saying that the coronavirus is China's Chernobyl, because after Chernobyl, communism could no longer stand because they kept lying to the people while they're all getting fried by radiation and total undermining of faith in the government. Coronavirus, same thing. We're about to see momentous changes take place around the world where people throw off these chains. Now, it is possible that some countries are going to get people in there that are worse than the people who are being replaced. That's just creative destruction in politics. They'll have to get rid of them too. I saw an interesting meme, and it said, you can vote your way into socialism, but you can only shoot your way out of it.
Boy, is that true. And you know what? With a meme like that, that's the kind of meme that is perfect. I hope you'll send me that. I'll post that on my Facebook page.
And it was a picture of Bernie. It was a picture of Bernie. It was a picture of Bernie there saying you can vote your way into socialism, but you can only shoot your way out of it.
I hope you'll remember to send that to me.
I will.
Because the young that have been de-educated in government schools do not know this. And that is a short and sweet and clear, enticing message that can help people understand that there's stuff they still don't know. We're living in a time when Greta Thunberg is our dictator.
That's an obscene word.
17-year-old supposed genius telling everybody we're going to die.
Karen, this is a family show. Please refrain from obscenities on the show. She's an obscenity. It's obscene what they've done to her, and it's obscene the way the media has embraced her. And how dare you? How dare you? Right?
How dare
you?
You know?
And the memes on that.
It's unbelievable. But a meme like that, another one that I like, but the one you just said is much, much better and clearer too, is when you're trying to ask people about, leftist policy, not quite socialism, yours is better. Keep asking people why there's cheese in the mousetrap. Why? Why do they put cheese? Why doesn't the mouse just come on in? But they need to lure him with cheese.
Yes.
You're getting lured with cheese because you don't know there's a trap there. And we've got to do that because, you're just fear-mongering. Really? We have to fight like hell. Is that okay to say?
Yeah, that's okay.
We have to fight like hell because otherwise we're going to lose this country and we'll be the socialist country and the rest of the world will be freer than us. We can't allow that to happen. And by the way, I do credit Donald Trump with a good deal of this because of the power and the essence of freedom that America represents. To get a president like Donald Trump, an unlikely guy from the private sector who loves this country and what it stands for, you better believe Brexit was part of that.
Oh, God, yeah.
And we've got to get a handle on the Soros, Steyer, Bloombergs of the world who want to buy socialism for everyone else and keep their billions for themselves. We got to get a handle on that.
Agreed. Look, I've met him before. He's a totally nice guy when you meet him, as are many socialists.
George Soros?
But he was very nefarious. Bloomberg, brilliant guy.
Oh, who'd you meet?
No, I met Bloomberg.
Bloomberg.
A nice guy to meet, but very nefarious.
Well, look at him. Judge him by his actions.
Yeah.
A man who thinks that he can make laws to tell people what decisions they could make to put in their own bodies, and then he tells us, like all the left tells us, that abortion is the only freedom issue that we're allowed, right?
Yeah.
We're allowed to control our bodies if it's to abort a baby, but we're not allowed to decide what size soda to drink. We're not allowed to pick our own doctor, to be in charge of our own health care. But, if you can't get an abortion, that's a freedom issue. I mean, these people are nuts. They're preposterous.
Hey, like Q says, these people are sick. God. All right, Karen. Well, we got to run, but we find your show at KarenKataline.com, KATALINE.com, podcast. And where else do we find you?
Yeah, well, everywhere you can find me is on my website, Facebook, Twitter. I'd love to get a few more Twitter followers. I'm not yet at the point where I can get doxxed, or no, not doxxed, but whatever that is.
I know what you mean. Yes.
A shadow banned or whatever. I just don't have that many. So, help me get to the point where I can get shadow banned. I'm kidding, of course. And please listen to my podcast, Spouting Off, every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Mountain and 1 p.m. Eastern and 10 Pacific. And I do an hour. I usually have a good guest. You've been on my program, and you were terrific.
Hey, so thank you. And likewise. And Yep. If you want to get entertained and learn a couple things, go check out Karen's podcast. Hey, we got to run, but questions, comments, just email us, kl@kerrylutz.com, Twitter feed @KerryLutz, Facebook page is Financial Survival Network, and visit our home site, sign up for our newsletter, financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Karen, always a pleasure.
Thank you. Take care.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.